Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel, coming back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, hey folks, sampler video, Series B is I do for the wine. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that at the time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit balmy this morning. You know, it's not too bad, but it's a little bit warmer than I'd like. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to eat and or drink some shit. After I'm done doing so, I'm going to go over there and let's be honest, it's going to be during too. So, you know, if you take any particular umbrage with people talking with their mouth full, 'tis not the show for you, my nice people. I am not so cultured. But I'm going to go over there and try to describe what the hell it is that I'm experiencing, what I'm tasting, and then you can go over there and use that information for whatever devious means that you need to. Maybe go over there and blackmail some people. You know, I mean, hey, do what you need to do. I'm not hating. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm inside my truck, I'm wearing my grody work clothes. Typically, when those two things coincide, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review. Kind of the case today. I was getting off work, but in this particular instance, I went over there and I was like, I got to get some groceries because I needed groceries. I was scrounging, folks. I was eating one too many frozen waffles. So I was like, I gotta get some groceries, finally. And while I was making my way around, I found a couple things to review. And one of those will hopefully help me out with the somewhat balmy nature of the morning. Because, folks, what am I reviewing for y'all today? Well, folks, we're doing, boom! It is Van Leeuwen, I never know how to pronounce it. Arizona green tea with honeycomb French ice cream. Ooh, look at it, it's green. So, yes, Van Leeuwen, or however, it's Ben, Rate, and Laura. I still don't know if that's the way to pronounce the dude in the middle's name, but that's what I'm going with. They're an artisanal ice cream maker, and they've become known for making some pretty interesting flavors. I've reviewed a few on the show. At some point, I will just make a playlist. Some highlights: the hot honey, macaroni and cheese, pizza, Grey Poupon, French, ranch dressing. Yeah. And now they got another new limited flavor out there, and it is Arizona green tea. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I like Arizona green tea. I usually do the diet stuff because I used to just do the straight stuff. But then one day I went to go get some, and they didn't have any. They just had the diet available, and I was like, all right. And I found out I like the diet, and I was like, all right, cool. But it's got a thing. They're from New York City. Nothing makes us happier than this Arizona green tea ice cream. Only the greatest things hail from Brooklyn, New York, like Arizona and yours truly. And the best style of pizza. Oh, so you're going to cast shade, Van Leeuwens. You're going to cast some shade. I'm from Chicago. You want to make this personal? We'll make this personal. And the Dodgers. Baseball! So we had to join forces with the iconic drink brand and create an iconic ice cream. Green tea and ginseng, honeycomb, and candy. Sure, why not? Let's try a thing. I see you casting shade. Casting shade with your fucking pizza shenanigans. You know what? That's okay though. Because that keeps the rivalry strong. Okay, that's what that's there for. Let's open it up. Open. This one didn't open as well as the others have in the past. Can I get it? I want to get it. I'm so close to getting it. No, let go. Alright. It looks like that, by the way. Now, here's the thing. Normally, I have plenty of emergency utensils in my car for various eatings and doings, what with the reviews. But I ran out of spoons, as far as I can tell. Unless you're a spoon. Are you a spoon? You're a knife. That doesn't help a damn thing. But what I do have is a fork. It's not traditional, but folks, we don't have to be traditional, okay? Tradition, we can move on from tradition. We can fork our ice cream as hard as we want. Let's give it a go. Ice cream. I don't think that guy's car is doing too well. Okay. Well, I certainly have thoughts. Right off the bat, I'll say this. It's not a bad ice cream. I mean, Van Leeuwen, they typically do a really good job of incorporating even their weird flavors in such a way that they're palatable, but they don't always succeed in that regard. The ranch dressing ice cream, yeah, go watch that review if you want to see me be real sad. But like the pizza was good. Even the Grey Poupon, it was a little bit weird, but I could kind of get down with it. With this one, it's honestly not all that weird. I got some of the honeycomb. Okay. Yeah. It's definitely nicer with the honeycomb, which, to be fair, I wish I was getting a little bit more of. And that's kind of a thing I've noticed with some of the Van Leeuwen stuff. Not all, but it's like their ratio of like chunks and bits to ice cream can be a bit skewed sometimes. Because the ice cream itself is decent. I've actually had green tea ice cream before. Tends to be more of an Asian thing. It's very different than that. I will say that. With green tea ice cream from, like Asian locations and stuff like that, it tends to be very tea tasting. And like even though they do sweeten it and stuff, like you're tasting the tea. Now, the thing with Arizona by tea standards is not particularly tea tasting tea. It's trying to be as palatable as possible to as many people as possible. It's very commercial. And that's fine. I'm not shitting on it. Like I said, I actually like it. But, subsequently, this has got to be the least tea tasting ice cream I've had, like of tea ice cream. And, like I said, it kind of works along the lines of like the Arizona. So, in that regard, it does kind of taste like Arizona green tea. Like, it's not particularly tea tasting. It's not a particularly strong flavor. It's fairly mellow. But it's fairly pleasant for what it is. And when you get one of the little honeycomb candy things, that definitely brings up the flavor quite a bit. You get a nice little shot of sweetness through it. And I mean, yeah, I can get down with this. Now, all that said, folks, when it comes down to it, a few parameters have to be met to make this whole thing work. One, does it taste like Arizona? And yeah, I think it does. I think it's not an exact facsimile, but I wouldn't expect it to be. It's obviously in a very different format, but I would say it's representative enough that I can go with it for sure. Is it a good ice cream? Yeah. I mean, it's not a great tea ice cream or anything, but like, if you're somebody who maybe you've tried green tea ice cream before, and maybe it was a bit too tea tasting for you, this could be something to go with. And ultimately, two questions have to be asked, folks. Would I get it again, and would I recommend it? Maybe, and sort of. Would I get it again? Maybe. It's kind of interesting, and I do, like it for what it is, but it's not by any means the best Van Leeuwen flavor. Like, it wouldn't even rank for me. It's certainly not the worst. The ranch is definitely the fucking worst I've had. But it is one of those things where, like, it's not that interesting overall, and it is a fairly mellow flavor, so it's like, I'm not getting a lot of oomph from it, and it's not something that makes my brain go, what is this? It's fairly, in its own way, it's kind of pedestrian, but not in a bad way, just, in the way that Arizona's kind of pedestrian as a drink, it's a good standby. As for recommending it, I mean, it depends on what you want from it. If you're expecting something wacky and weird, it's not that. But if you're somebody who, maybe you just want to try a somewhat different style, different style of flavor ice cream, it's something to go with. But again, if you're already familiar with the green tea ice creams that are available, depending on how you took that will depend on how you take this. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here, folks. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You can go there and have yourselves a truly Chicago pizza-tastic rest of your life, because that's right, Van Leeuwen. If you're going to throw shade, I'm going to throw shade. We're just going to do shading back and forth. Just shade. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing to do in the world, especially when you got ice cream companies going over there and casting shade, talking and fucking all kinds of, talking up their pizza, fucking like, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, come on, folks. That's, I mean, you can do it. You did it, but come on now. But it's important when we run into actual problems in our lives, things that are frustrating, stressful, etc. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there, maybe you're going to try yourself out some Van Leeuwen French ice cream, as I have done here today. And I don't even care what flavor you try. Maybe just, just whichever one. Maybe one catches your eye and you're like, I'm going to try this one. Do it. But I want you to read the little back excerpt. Okay, and if they go over there and they cast any more shade, going over there talking about how fantastic their pizza is, and I'm not saying it isn't good, but y'all are talking it up. Let's not lie. You're talking it up. I want you to hit me up in the comments, and I want you to go over there and be like, hey, they went over there and they came out with, like, I don't know, razzleberry fucking ice cream or some shit, and they're still talking shit about the pizza. All right, then we're gonna I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna make this happen. Okay, we'll go over there. We'll get our own ice cream company going, and we'll cast our own fucking shade. Or conversely, eat pizza from wherever you want, man. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm from Chicago, it's like some badass fucking pizza, but there's excellent pizza all across the country. Enjoy. Bye.